Good morning, everybody. It is a rainy Wednesday morning. That's not normal in Southern California, but we don't worry about it because we're doing a live stream in Dying. My name is Kevin. We do this twice a week. This is kind of a game dev AMA Q&A. Hang out, answer questions. We work this like office hours, come and go as you please. Generally speaking, we'll try to stumble through whatever questions you might have as far as what, as they apply to blueprinting or Maya or anything in Unreal game dev in general. I don't know everything, but hopefully we can stumble through it together and learn some stuff together. I am fortunate enough to work professionally in game dev now. I work currently in R&D at Riot Games, and I think that's pretty much it. In the absence of any questions, my brain's a little bit slow this morning. In the absence of any questions, don't worry, we can still fill the time. And we're doing that by I'm live streaming me working towards a working prototype of my own game. This gives me a chance to do a lot of the cool stuff I don't get to do at work, and learn a whole lot about other disciplines and things like that, and just kind of round out some skills. So I went back through, I didn't see any questions as of right now. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and hop right over to Unreal. The things that we were working on last time, as I get this set up, make sure all our levels are good. Okay, things we were working on last time is we got a whole bunch of stuff working, and we were working on a new ability for Melee Sword. And one of the things that we were trying to do is we were trying to figure out the damage execution of that, why it wasn't taking into account levels. I'm happy to say, and we're not going to belabor that a whole bunch this morning, but I'm happy to say I was able to get that working. In our damage execution in C, down here you'll see, and I don't think this is necessarily the right way to do this, but this is a way to make it work, and it also flexes our understanding of how all this stuff works. So down here in our damage execution, I've added this damage level molt, and where that comes from is up here. We're getting this spec, basically we're getting the owning specs at level. And this comes in as part of the execution parameters. So why that's important, or where that's important in Unreal. If we bring up, let me think for a second. Let's take a look at GA Melee Sword, maybe? Sword? Alright, so interestingly enough, there's a couple different ways to apply a gameplay effect to target. In this particular case, depending on which one you use, you basically can get the level. And here we are actually passing in a gameplay effect level of 3. When I change this, you'll see if I come back to it. I picked 3 because I wanted a single sword swipe to be enough to kill these enemies. But eventually, I think I would tie this into the level and so on. So if I just swipe, you're basically insta-killed. Alright, if we go back and we switch this, I always have one crash the first time we run. It's interesting. If we drop this down back to 1, you'll notice it no longer kills them instantly. It takes 3 shots, right? Okay, cool. So that's cool. We got that up and running, which is great. Now, there's a couple of things that I wanted to take a look at this morning, and I don't have a super huge plan. I think we're starting to get to the point where I really kind of want to start building the encounter. Before we get there though, let's take a look at a couple of things. One, you'll notice that when I do that, there are no damage numbers. So I'd kind of like to figure out here, if we go back, when I shoot, oh, interesting. I've got breakpoints and ranged weapon. There's all over the place apparently. Target data ready. Execute game queue notify. Has authority apply damage. GameCube. This is where we're gonna be looking, but we'll just run through for now. All right, so see that damage number pop up? Okay, different for head versus body. Head's about double. When we use the sword, no damage numbers. I think it would still be great to have damage numbers pop up with the sword. So let's see if we can figure that out. Bring up our chat and make sure we're good there. Okay, we are. All right, now, when we shoot a weapon, GameCube impact, rifle impact. I'm gonna use our reference viewer. And it looks like that is used in here. I know I've seen the damage number somewhere. We just gotta find it. Was it in the shooter mannequin? Let's see here, numbers. If I search for number, is it gonna be that easy? Damage numbers, look at this. There's a thing called damage numbers. Let's check out our reference viewer for that. It looks like our damage numbers are used in damage numbers basic style edit. This is a what? What is this? Damage info? Reference viewer. Okay, so this is part of the number pop component. Which is a Lyra number pop component Niagara Tech. Interesting. And this is in code. So this is in code. And in code, there's a couple interesting procedures. Add number pop. We could search for that. Let's just start with that. Let's start searching for that. Go back to our blueprints. We'll do a number pop. Somebody's got to be calling this somewhere. Here we go. GameCube notify looping, I'm guessing this is. Here's our number pop. Okay, and we GameCube notify character damage taken. Adds a number pop. Evaluates a weak spot. Here's our spawning the pop numbers. Interesting. Do we even come in here for the sword? Because it looks like if we did, well, we know for a person, it definitely comes in there when we shoot them. If we go over here, okay, we do. All right. So for some reason we're kicking out before the damage pop numbers. Spawn the pop number. Get component by class Lyra number pop component. It is valid. We're evaluating the weak spot. And the true happens if the raw magnitude. Wait a minute. That says -68. What is this? if the raw magnitude times -1 rounded is greater than 0, which it should be. It's 68. It's greater than 0. So we should definitely throw up pop numbers. But for some reason they are not showing. Then it plays a sound. Yeah, this is our damage. Okay, so that's where it's all coming from. So we should be popping numbers. So there's something in the code that's preventing us from popping numbers, I think. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so add number pop is coming from our number pop, which lives in starter game feedback. Number pops. And this is Lyra number pop Niagara Tech .cpp. I'm gonna lie, this song's kind of not working for me right now. Okay. Add number pop. So it gets our damage, if it's critical or not. It adds a Niagara component. Interesting. Okay, so I think we're gonna debug this. Let's do this. We'll do a little bit of debugging in here. Let's do it with a pistol first. The first two did not show, which is really weird. Oh no, it's not. It's not weird because the first two were maybe the shield. Local damage is 4. It's not critical. We don't have a Niagara component, so we're making a new one. Style is basic Niagara style. So we're setting it, we're auto activating it false. Setting the world location. Okay, the world location in this case is 374, 418, 124. Okay. Printing to the log. Add damage information to Niagara list. Damage are packed inside an effect tree where X, Y, and Z position in W is damage. Okay. X, Y, and Z and local damage. Okay. That was our 4. Okay, so now if we do that with the sword, same thing, local damage, 100. It's not critical. We do have a Niagara component. Oh, but look, our world location is bogus. Why is that? Okay, so it looks like the problem is our world location. I wonder if this will play at the origin though. So one way to test that trying to see. Trying to turn the camera without my. Alright, so if I hit this character. Yeah, look. Okay, the damage numbers are printing. They're totally printing, but they're printing at the origin, which is the problem. So we just need to figure out why that is. This is breaking the gameplay queue parameters. So we can get rid of that debug point in code, which we did. Because when we come in here, here's the Aurora location. It comes from the hit result. And the hit result is coming from the effect context. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. Our effect context. Interesting. Why don't we have any of this stuff set on the gameplay queue parameters? I wonder. Here it sets a context. Yeah, that's not it. Interesting. I have a silly question, which is if I just connect here instead, will the damage numbers play? Nope. That doesn't do it either. Okay. So what we're going to do is come over here. How's there no debug information here? Look at this, our hit result is 0. Our gameplay queue parameters. No effect context on this. Window, debugging tools, debug. Where's our debugging tool? Blueprint. Look at this alt stack. This came from Melee Sword Event Craft. Interesting. It does take target data though. There seems to be a difference between the way these two work. So let's just do this again. Same thing, we'll stop. Okay, and in here, we look at our parameters. Effect context still shows nothing. Locations and everything are nothing. Our effect context gets the hit. Location is nothing. Like none of this stuff is set. Okay. So either we're pulling from the wrong place. Where's the target data coming from? What is the target data at this point? Parameters. Wow, that is total bummer. Okay, but if we do this with the gun, wait, the location's not anything there either. Hold up a second. But the effect context has information in it. So it's all in the effect context. Look at this, there's so much information in this hit result. Physical materials, hit object handles. Wait, come back. Which is a B hero shooter. All of this is coming through with the shot from the pistol. Okay, and if I go back to the sword, where are we? We're using, oh, that's the sword. We need to check which one we're doing with the gun. We come in here. We look at the hit. Nothing is set. Like literally nothing is set. Okay, so we need to figure that out. So let's take a look at weapon fire. Weapon fire applies gameplay effect to target that comes from target data being ready. Interesting. Very interesting. So, can I do a target data in here? Target data. So this function, target data, where is it? This is in the weapon fire. This is an arranged target data ready. I believe this is in code. Weapon fire, beam cannon, etc. Yep. take a look. Solution. Weapon. Melee. Ranged weapon. Instance. Post load. Update the visuals. Equip. Heat range. Physical material. Spreads. Interesting. Lyra gameplay ability ranged weapon. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay, so this is a ranged weapon. So this is Lyra. Gameplay ability. Where's this live? Source Lyra weapons. Gameplay ability, ranged weapon. Alright. Target data ready. Here's our target data ready. Callback. This happens. This happens inside of the start targeting. Makes a target data handle. It adds the new target data if it finds hits. So our sword definitely does not do this. But I thought the gameplay ability system would do this, which is interesting. Yeah, it's getting the hit result from the target data. So basically, looks like we had a little bit of a disconnection there. You didn't miss anything. I waited for a second. Let's see here. Can we get target data? Interesting. Nope. We commit the ability. Play them on top. Oh, wait. How does it know what the target data is? If we cast this to shooter, hold on a second, I have an idea. Shooter mannequin. If we get the AG combat manager. Where's our shooter mannequin? Here's our shooter mannequin. When we get a hit actor, target 2, we're not setting any information in here. We have the instigator of the target, event magnitude, target data. this isn't enough. Target data. Ability to target data from hit result. That's what I want. I'm gonna do that. Because that's gonna get, if there's information about where, let's try that. Okay, I mean, we don't need this breakpoint anymore. We know that's not the problem. We come into here, we get to this point. Oh yeah, we found it. Woo. All right, so now, sorry. It looks like our hit result has information. Look at this, that's solid. All right, let's get rid of this breakpoint. We're gonna let it ride. Yes, look at that. We now got our hit damage. Sweet. Okay, so cleaning up a few things. That was just providing the actor was never going to be good enough. So now we have everything we need. We're getting the hit result. That's fine. The rest of the stuff we can leave. So let's compile and save that. So we got our damage numbers. That's great. We don't have any weird breakpoints or anything in here. It's cool. Weapon impacts. We don't need that. We don't need weapon fire. And interestingly enough, I would be willing to bet you if we switch this back, our damage numbers aren't going to be there again. Let's just try it. They're not. They're back at the origin. And the reason is, this makes sense. The reason is because this is not taking into account, this is taking into account the context. But the context handle doesn't have the target data in it. So that's why we're using this apply gameplay effect to target. So I don't even think we're going to keep this around. I think it's just going to confuse future us. Make those pretty. Okay, I believe we are good to go. We don't need that either. All right, solved another problem. All right, what we were talking about was damage numbers. Now, the other thing that I want to figure out, or concern that I have, is I don't think the enemies are going to be able to use this sword. Also, now that the damage numbers play, let's go back to level 3. There we go. Boom. Now, there's a couple other things. That says 200. There's no sense of overkill. Might be cool to know what the overkill is. And I noticed that because inside of our damage execution, that's our ranged weapon instance. This is Niagara text. We're getting there. Okay, so notice this. Inside our damage execution, there's a clamp on it. And the clamp is basically damage done can be no larger than the current health plus the current shield. So we will never see overkill. And I'm not sure what the logic is there. I think it's kind of cool to see like how insane your hits are. So we're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to check to see what why that is, and potentially figure out how to display overkill, which would be cool. But Where I was getting to real quick though was for the enemies. Let's look at their ability tree. We need to re-enable them so they're smart again and they can do stuff. Okay. So, since we finished our testing on the sword, and then what I want to do is, I believe it's ability set. Ability. No. Shooter man. Let's take a look at our default equip. Also, let's save our sword just in case we crash. Default items. I always struggle to find where this is. Here we go. We're starting with a shotgun? That's weird. That doesn't seem right. Let's just go in initial inventory on the sword. Using that item definition. When I spawn, I'm gonna spawn with a sword, and they do too. Here's the thing. Oh wait. But they're not attacking with it. This is what I was worried about. They're here, they have a sword, but they're not actually attacking. And that's because, I don't know why that is actually. This is probably what our next thing is gonna be. Oh, they're doing melee attacks because they have no ammo. That's why. Alright, it's fine. Here, simple solve. Simple solve. Let's go back to our shooter mannequin. Go to our sword. And let's do, it's a magless weapon. If we just add one, and in this one we use ammo, magazine ammo, and we set the value of 1. They should now have ammunition. Now this is what I was worried about. Okay, so we're in this weird stage. So they're shooting. They're basically attacking. And the way they're attacking is they now have ammo in the sword. And as a result of this, they're just running around swinging. If I walk up here, I'm gonna get smoked, right? All my shield's gone, but I have an invincibility thing. So we need the idea of, yeah, we definitely need to fix this. It's funny, but we need the idea of the range of a weapon, because oh man, we may have to rethink a lot of stuff. It's cool though, because the dudes in back won't swing because they'll hit a friendly. Now he's swinging because he's not taking into account the full trace of the sweep of the sword. Basically, if I hide behind this, the dude in back stops swinging, which is cool. Okay, how are we gonna do this? So in our fight ability tree, what's happening is we're coming into here, and we're basically just shooting. And we're finding a cover position for attack. But we can't do that if it's a melee weapon. What we could do here's what we could do. We could Melee target enemy is God. Lyra character. Cast character. Try activate abilities by tag. Action melee. This is super lazy, but this will work. Alright, so let's go back to our sword. Let's just see if this will work. Again. Alright, so they're gonna stop swinging. And we're gonna go back to melee. And we're going to do the exact same thing. I wonder if this, okay. And then we're going to and the tag that we're going to use is fire. Weapon fire, I believe. Okay. So now when we play, we're not swinging all over the place. They're definitely not meleeing. Alright, so pop in here. Distance less than 350. So this tries to activate an ability, and this tries to activate an ability. Okay, so it is trying to activate it. So probably what's happening is we're using the wrong tag. So what does shoot use? Shoot. It sends a gameplay event to act. That's try activate abilities with tags. So we're going to send a gameplay event to the actor. And the actor we're going to send it to is... We can just get the control on. Nope. That's not what I want to do. I'm not going to do this. I don't need that. Wonder, is there an input tag here? We could try this. Let's try this first. Okay. Nobody is swinging swords, so that's not gonna work. All right. So back to plan B. I love plan B. Okay. I don't believe we have the pawn stored. We don't. There's no payload and shoot. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. Alright, first things first. Does anybody swing a sword? Yes, they do. Okay, so when they get close enough, they swing the swords. Now, there's a double activation that's happening here that I want to try to make sure that we're accounting for, because the sword is a melee weapon, okay? But they may also have a melee attack, which is like maybe that it's hitting with the butt of the sword, for example. These dudes are gonna kill each other. It's crazy. Okay, so let's do this. I want to know. Basically, when I read this says, it attempts to activate every gameplay ability that matches the given tag and does ability satisfy tag requirements. It returns true if anything attempts to activate. So theoretically, if it tries this and it comes back as false, then we would send our weapon fire if we had a melee item. And there's probably a more systematic thing. Like, we should, hold on, I'm gonna see if they swing. Yeah, okay, they're not swinging. Alright, we do need to be smarter about this. Alright, so what's happening is it's technically trying to activate the ability. It's not, but what's happening is it's just not able to. And so then we're just sending this gameplay event. What I was thinking was, we should probably delineate between whether or not we have a sword or not. And we just need to think about where we're gonna do this. This is out of ammo. Interesting. We're gonna have to really rethink our melee logic, I think. But what we could do is, if we have a melee weapon, we could do a BTS melee attack. Okay, so let's do a couple things. Let's go to this, let's browse to this, and let's duplicate this. Okay, we're gonna call this, there's melee, and then there's melee attacks. Oh no, let's be more specific. Melee weapon attack. Okay, so cool. And then in melee, we can kill this in gameplay, because we're not going to use that anymore. And then in our melee weapon, we're not going to activate the abilities with the tag. We are, wait, undo. We are just going to send. We are assuming that we have a melee weapon. And right in here, we'll want to change this. What? We lost our connection to source control. Hold on, I'm reconnecting to source control. Okay, accept our settings. Cool. All right, so in here eventually, we're probably gonna want to adjust this so that it's using a range of basically the range of the actual weapon. So depending on if you have like a short sword, a long sword, or whatever. Or we may just make it, for simplicity's sake, all melee weapons have the same range. Maybe based on class, I don't know, we'll think about it. But this is just something to be aware of. I wonder how, like, a good question would be how long it is our sword attack. When we look at it, if we look at, oh well, let's not get distracted from what we're doing here. So we're gonna send our gameplay event to the actor here. File and save. File and save. File and save. Sure, we can check that out. Okay, in here we have melee. We need to check to see if we're using a melee weapon. And there's a couple things that we could do. The sequence is going to do every one until one fails. So we don't want to do this. You know, we can do this. We can keep this. But what we want to do is we want to make room. Let's duplicate this. We're going to pop in here. All of this is going to be the same, but rather than melee, we're going to make this BTS. Melee weapon. Alright, so that's going to work. And we're not going to do that if out of ammo is set. Oh, actually, yes, we can, because out of ammo will be set. Out of ammo will be set. Okay, so now, so this will work from the standpoint of now it should swing the swords, but it's also going to do a melee attack at the same time. But it will wait before doing it. It's always going to do a melee attack. Whereas here, I think we're going to eventually change this logic, but let's just make sure this works. So their first reaction is to find cover. Then they're gonna come. Yep, and they're swinging. Man, that is wild. It's a good thing they don't do. All right, that's working. We are definitely gonna have to change this logic though, because we're just gonna need to be smarter about when we do our melee attacks. Like we should do, and I'm gonna actually call them melee weapon versus melee from now on. So melee weapon's pretty clear, right? We're gonna use that if we have a melee weapon, which is something that is magless and we're out of ammo, etc. But they may also have a melee attack, which would, rather than an actual sword swing, maybe there's a butt. And maybe what we do is maybe we do implement one. I'll have to think about it. But whether we're using a gun or a melee weapon, when we do this, melee should only happen if we're out of ammo or within a certain range, right? Because if I'm within, 300 units, which is less than 3 meters, or no, that'd be, I think it's 100 centimeters per. So that would be less than a meter. We should probably be using melee attacks instead of trying to shoot with a gun. But we can take a look at that later. Out of ammo. Yeah, right now the idea that the only time we do melee is when we're out of ammo is probably not quite right. I think the other thing that is worth noting here is, let's watch this. Let's spawn one enemy. I'm worried that it might get stuck in that melee. So rather than waiting for 1 second, it's waiting for like 4. So let's play. And let's take a look at this blueprint. Yeah, see, it's getting stuck in this way. So right now it's basically skipping because we don't have ammo, and it's going to do a sword swing, and then it's going to do a melee attack. Why does it think it has ammo? Where'd it go? Oh, we picked up grenades. Sneaky. Let's try that again. This time I'll go pick up all the weapons so that they can't. So she is doing, yeah, exactly. Move to attack. There, I'm getting hit. I can hear it in the background. And then we're still doing this wait. But yeah, this is why this needs to change. Where's this out of ammo get set? Out of ammo. Can't remember. Let's do a quick search. Out of ammo. Oh, it's getting set in our strategize task. Okay, that's one place. Oh, that's a blackboard key. Out of ammo. Setting it to true. And it sets it to true there. If it has more weapon me. The heck, this has more weapon. Okay, so we come in here, we're getting all the items that still has ammo. I see. And based on that, it will return that it can shoot. What is this? Okay. Overall, I think what we need to do is I think that we need to set it up so that our character is aware as to whether or not the weapon they're using is a melee weapon or a ranged weapon. And there's a couple different ways that we can do that. We're going to kind of dig into that. But I think this is probably a good point to wrap things up for today. So let's just throw a little bit of summary. So, you know, we made some progress. We fixed some sword stuff. We learned a couple things about our targeting data, which is great. As I said, I think that what we'll do for next time is, or maybe if I can get it done between now and then, we just need to give our character the ability to somehow understand the difference between a ranged or a melee weapon so that they are making behavior trees decision appropriately. And like I said, we'll just see how much I get done between now and the next live stream. The next stream will be Sunday night, as so far, you know, staying on schedule, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. I hope that everybody has an awesome rest of your week, and I will catch you all on the next stream. If you have questions, as always, throw them in the comments or just hop in the next stream and we can hopefully stumble through those together. Have a great week and weekend, everybody. Later.